Started. So, welcome back to a series of Wonders events. Uh, I'm your humble DM Robin, and joining us today by Rivani, or by Stefan, our human sorcerer Rivani. Nathan play as Viking, or Asmar Paladin, and Kat play as Tali, our Wood Elf Rogue. So previously, the team escaped the Underdark. It's almost like a lifetime ago, and also wandered off into Feywild. In Feywild, they encounter some, betrayal and some kind of unexpected, accompanied by, the quickling assassin they met a long time ago, and they luckily survived that and make it their way out of Feywild, despite the fact that the Shadowfell kind of magic kind of leaks into Feywild as well. And it's not their problems anymore because they're now finally arrived at their destination, Green East, and taking a few breaks, meeting new friends. Though it starts off on the wrong foot, but it's fine because they sorted things out with Silvana, Alexander, and Vero. So right now they are having a little bit of shopping and taking a little bit of break. So the break continues on for a few days. You can either tell me what you want to do during this week break, or you can, like said, I just want to see what happens. Then I'll roll it for you. Depends on you guys. Right now, you're just having a good time. Don't want to really think about any kind of, adventuring because you've had quite enough. So, I'll just ask according to the camp setting. So, Riveni, I assume you'll be working on the homiculi familiar, right?
Yeah, I'll basically be sort of retreating into my room for a bit, so that hopefully I'm not disturbed while I'm working on that.
Okay, then roll me 3d6.
Okay.
All right.
That's a 10.
Okay, and then roll me a d20. Okay.
Not great.
Not really that well. So you spent about 3 days to finally hammer down the first design, as you wish to enhance its physical abilities. You go back and forth to the Tamara's place, the crazy old lady who sells alchemy stuff, and encounter that pod genie for quite some time, being harassed, but nevertheless you get your components you need, and you paid for 60 gold pieces for that components.
Right.
And you get your upgrade for the first formula. Meanwhile, Viking, what are you doing?
After our little shopping spree,
Mm-hmm.
as we leave the store, I divvy up the potions we have.
Mm-hmm.
So each of the other players has 2 potions, regular potions of healing.
Okay. That's nice.
Per person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like leaning over, like making sure nobody sees. I'm like, here you go. And I give the mystery box to Tully.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, we can work on that. You can figure out how to get into it on our downtime. And yeah. Oh, and I give her the lockpicks. I think I said that before.
Yeah. You split that up.
So that's the shopping portion done. Yeah, I want to go and look at the. You said the Adventures League is kind of like a kind of more of a mysterious place, like where you get more rare goods.
Yeah, it's like sort of like an auction house where adventurers from all around will come in here and trade their the stuff they acquired from the tombs, and because they don't know the exact values, there will be an someone to like identify what it is exactly and put into an auction. So yeah.
Okay. I'd like to go and just kind of check out what that's all about.
Okay. So you roam around the streets. After you divvy up all the stuff, you roam around the streets towards the Adventures League. And in there, you see on the front decks a small female gnome is currently with a ponytail is currently uh, buried in boxes of stuff. The wooden crates are almost twice as high as her height, and she's like fumbling through the stuff as she's talking to some other guy on the front desk. The guy on the front desk it's an elf. Has a unusually golden hair, and with a giant bow on his back. He's like the gender stereotype of elf. He just stands there looking quite impatiently at the gnome and says, "Come on, get me my stuff. I've been sitting here for hours." And the gnome kind of replies, hold on, just a second. I'm finding. Aha! And she reached into one of the crates and pulls a giant claws you have never seen before in your life. So gigantic, she kind of needs to lift it up with all of her strength, but she can barely lift it. And she's fumble through and just dump the claw onto the front desk and says, "Whew, here you go. That's the Hydra claw you mentioned a while back. I don't know what you want with it, but I don't really care. Go, take it. Off you go, off you go." And the elf just kind of mutters a few curses and grab the giant claw with ease. That's something you wouldn't see from an elf. That with the size that's slim, he just lifted up with one hand, put it on his back, and just "I'll be back for more, you know it." And he just wanders off. And as he passes by you, he kind of nods and greets you and says, "Good day," and just goes off.
Good day, traveler.
Yep.
Can I do an Arcana or some kind of a check to see if I know what a Hydra Claw is?
Sure. Go ahead. Arcana, history. Or
Nature?
history. Or they're not really.
They're all the same.
Nature. Yeah.
So, stat-wise for me.
Okay.
So.
Okay. You
14.
immediately knows that Hydra are some kind of powerful being with the ability to generate multiple heads. As Viking, you would know that. So yeah, it's weird though. The claws don't usually worth anything. So it's usually the regeneration ability, like the heads, are preserved and being auctioned and stuff. But anyway, someone needs it, means it got to have some value.
Has the dwarf or gnome? Sorry.
Yeah, the gnome lady.
Has she kind of settled down, or is she still ravaging through
She
stuff?
kind of just laying back on the front decks with the crates and just taking a small break since no one's looking at the moment. She doesn't see you coming because the desk just barely covers up her sight. So she's hiding behind the desk, kind of I'm just gonna take a little break. You can hear her muttering in the back. I was just a little while.
Is there stuff out on display,
Oh
or
yeah,
is it everything in crates?
there's like a book of sorts, made with kind of leathery texture. You don't really know what it is, but yeah, it's placed out on the desk, and on the front it says, manuscript for clientele and well, employees to follow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I look over to the gnome, and I'm like, "Don't worry about me. Take a break. I understand."
Sorry, sir.
No, no,
Sorry.
no, no.
I'm here.
Continue
I'm here.
sitting.
And she like kind of drags a few crates in order to help herself stand onto the desk. She's like, definitely
No, no,
gonna
no, no. I
report
insist that
to someone
we're
to
just-
make this desk smaller. Anyway, how can I help you, sir?
I'm just exploring this fine city of Green Nest you have here. This is the first time I've actually been here, so yeah, don't mind me. I'm just kind of wandering, and if you want to, relax, by all means. I'm not going to stop you.
Well, and she started looking around, seeing no one at the other like places like standing or anything. She just like leaned back to the desk and says, thank you, sir. It's been a long day. I've been fumbling through the crates they delivered. It's not an easy task. I'm the only employee here, like, so it gets harder each time. Anyway, well, we can just small talk if you like. I'll just lay back here, and if you need anything, oh, by the way, sorry, where are my manners? I'm Esme. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm McKean.
Nice to meet you, sir. And
A couple of myself and a few travelers have just arrived into town, so.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Adventurously welcome all walks of life. As long as you're an adventurer, not some common peasant trying to scam our stuff. But judging by your look, you are definitely one experienced traveler. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry that much.
I make a comment. I'm like, yeah, I'm experienced. Occasionally, we do get ourselves into a bit of trouble and forced into situations. But myself and my companions have, been to the Underdark, the Feywilds.
She
A few different places.
She was nodding. As you said, like travel to a lot of places and being dragged. She kind of nod empathetically and like, oh, yeah, I get the sense of feeling. And when she heard Underdark, she like take a gasp and like, oh, you've been to Underdark? Oh my god, that kind of feeling. And she's kind of surprised you're still alive. Like you look like you've been battle worn. And have you been to our tavern in the town? That's a pretty nice place. I know the owner. Kaz is a good friend of mine. If you're tired and desperate need of rest, I can direct you to there.
Oh, we've already been here for a night. I had a lovely time sleeping in a real bed for a change.
Nothing
It's the
compares
small
to a
thing
real
just
bed.
down the road.
Yeah. Well, if you don't need anything, for now, I will be just staying in the back, and I will just let you glimpse through, like whatever you want. And if you need anything, just call me. Okay? I'll be right
So
there.
I asked her, I'm like, so does this book contain all of your wares? Like, so I
Well,
went to the book on the.
it's more like some sort of rules we all need to follow, and just set the ground rules so people don't try anything. Yeah, we get that
I
a lot
understand.
from here. There's you gotta understand that there are some kind of adventurers who like just walks out of their home and dreaming of becoming some kind of big shot, and they would try to get their startup money from us.
Did you
And
hear me yesterday when I said
Yeah, by grabbing some sort of weird looking, I don't know, whatever that is, and try to cover it up, make it look like it's powerful, and try to
Are
sell
you
it.
talking to him? Yeah,
So, yeah.
right now? Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. Adventures um, tend to not always bring the nicest of people.
Yeah,
Um,
plus we've been speaking of which, we've got a lot of missing shipments lately. It's really bad for business. That's why I was searching in the back for so long. I mean, usually a Hydra claw is that not that easy to acquire. We got plenty of supplies. It's just recently the shipments have been, I don't know, hit by storm or something. Well, we tried land transport. The caravans usually end up missing. So yeah, it's really bad for business. Hence, I'm the only
yeah,
one here.
I originally I met my companions um, guarding a caravan, and it's amazing what can happen in such a short time with
Mhm.
if you don't hire the right skill set.
Well, people got to start somewhere, right? No, uh, like I'm not looking down at you because you worked on the guard duty. I mean, we all got to start somewhere. Hell, I'm on desk duty. I'm just basically a clerk, right? So
Yeah, but the only concern is, there's far less. Well, your only concern being a clerk is maybe a box avalanche uh,
trust
and
me,
getting hurt.
boxes, they don't go kind with you.
Yeah, neither do bandits,
Hmm,
and
true.
generally the inexperienced end up um, not walking away.
We definitely got some hard muscle dealing with that. So, well, uh, that's not my stuff to concern because my only worries is if the shipment arrives in time and can I deliver it to the right customer. That's it. So yeah.
Hmm. Well, if you're, I can talk to my companions if you're in need of assistance. Then,
Sure thing. We've got several of contract on the wall if you're interested. I mean, the first one, as you look, as she points to her left side, you follow her fingers and glance on the walls. There were a few dozen contract there. You can still see the shape and the pins that were used to put it up there. However, there were most of them seems like they were recently removed, leaving one giant wooden board with a sign that says retrieving uh, cargoes. Uh, Missing area near Green East, and the reward will be handsome. Basically that.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I go over to the board and so, do you guys have any idea how far out your shipments are being attacked or
Well, we got the
going missing?
gist. We got the gist. According to where it happened, by the looks, by the track marks and stuff, it's approximately about, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles, in the vicinity. It's not that far. It's just that we really can't pinpoint it. Uh, it's like let me just describe what happened. Usually, we found the wreckage of the caravan on the road, and we would, we trust me, we have some really powerful wizards who can scry and look into what happens, but somehow the trail always end up cold when it's into the woods, and uh, the wreckage, we got our best rangers on track of it, and still like uh, like it ends up into the woods, and that's it. It's like after that, everything just vanished.
Hmm.
So yeah.
What
I
about
can
if
show you a path of where they were usually hit. We got
Sure.
there about 4-5 times. Got hit by 3 times. So yeah, it's more frequent than usual. At first we thought it's kobolds, kobolds and their stuff. But last time our mage lord, well, he claims himself to be the Lord, but anyway, Jonathan went with them, kind of trying to escort the shipment, but still, even he's gone. I mean, I really don't get it.
So are they killing your people, or are they taking your people?
That's the part we can't figure out because there's no blood on the scene. Squaring spell doesn't really work, and yeah, they just poof disappeared.
Hmm. And where's your shipments coming out of?
Well, it's coming off everywhere. Usually from Baldur's Gate. We got some from Neverwinter and Waterdeep, Luskan as well. Like I said, we need to run a network, and we need a lot of shipments, basically.
I completely understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're willing to help, I'm authorized to give you this. And she puts down a contract, a paper form. It's more detailed listing what kind of rewards you will get. If you find one, cargo, you will get 1,000 gold pieces as a reward. If you found 2 or 3, the price doubles up. So yeah.
Can I take this contract? I need to speak with my companions.
Yeah, sure.
And either way, I'll bring it back to you, whether we agree or not.
Sure thing. Go ahead. Just take it.
And do you also have a map of the area?
Oh, sure thing. And
they can show me where it's been disappearing.
Okay. So she lays down the map. If green is, so if you see on your map, it's approximately somewhere here, like out of town in this direction.
Do you have a map of like the Sword Coast or Faerun?
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I will
show
you. Yeah. Upload. Because last time I tried to do this, it kind of went dead on me. I'll try that again. See if that works. World map. How big is this? Hold on.
I did Google one, but
all right. Pardon for the mess. Computer just crashed, so yeah. And I think this will do the job. So as you can see, currently she lays down the map and place it on top of the counter and says, "Oh, you're currently here at this spot." And she points at Green East. They are somewhere near this area. The Olden trial. Somewhere near here.
okay.
It's somewhere near here. Yeah. So they always they have a tendency to get lost in this part, somewhere near here.
All right.
So, okay.
How much for your map?
It's if you decide to take the contract, it'll be free. But currently you haven't, so 5 gold pieces.
Sure. I need to give my companions all the information.
Okay.
If
sure.
you know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yep. I
Either way,
totally
I'll
get it.
return your contract, but
Mhm.
I'll give her the 5 gold for the
Okay. Cool.
map of the area.
All right.
Okay.
So she takes 5 gold pieces from you and deliver you the map. It's like, I hope you travel safe. Well, like I said, we don't know who or what hit our cargoes, so just watch your back.
All right.
All right.
Then I ask, I'm like, yeah. So I take it your slim pickings for what you have in stock now. Yeah, look around the shop.
Yeah. That depends what you want to buy. I mean, we got all kinds of mysterious artifacts, materials, and goods. Like, what do you want to buy? I wonder.
Well, I'm always curious in, you know, I'm always interested in magical items, but it all depends on, price and
Magical items.
rarity and
We got something. Well, if you are worried about the pricing, well, they are in fact not cheap. As you can see, and she points. She kind of pressed something on the table, and one part of the wall on top of the contract board is lightened up, and you can see there's a fine set of armor glimmering in like the light. There's kind of like a spotlight that's blast onto the armor, making it look extraordinary. And she said, that one will be 10,000 gold pieces a set. Allegedly worn by the mighty warrior Catan. And yeah, he wore that into battle for numerous time and bonded with it and thus making it really powerful. Yeah, if you want to buy it, 10,000 gold pieces and that will be yours. We don't have an auction currently. And she continues. Usually the price will get better if we have an auction, or worse, depends on what kind of product we're selling. Yeah, currently the closest auction date is about 3 months later. So,
all right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if it's 10,000 for used armor, I wonder how much it would have been new. Like, I'm like, all right. Yeah, it's a little bit outside my budget right now. But you never know what happens.
yeah,
So
maybe you'll get this job done, get enough cash, get enough money. So, just don't lose your hope.
Like we lost our rogue.
Yeah. What? You lost your rogue? What?
She just disappeared from roll 20.
I know. I'm just like, as
and she's muted. And
yeah. Is she
Oh
muted?
yeah, she crashed as well. Oops.
I think that's her own settings. But anyway,
so
yeah, she
I'll
crashed.
I'm like, okay, well, let me go chat with my companions, and we'll. Oh, and one last thing. When was your next shipment scheduled for?
Well, it's due in 3 days, so let's hope for the best.
All right. And I'm gonna leave and go find my companions.
Okay. All right. Since Cat is still crashed, is she?
Like, yeah, I'm here audio wise. I just like roll
Nice.
20. It's just
Yeah,
stuck.
it's been weird lately. I was trying to upload some stuff last night, but it wouldn't let me for some weird reason. Anyway, so as Viking walk out of the shop and walk out of the tavern and trying to go for the league, what are you doing, Tali, the moment?
I guess priority 1 is going to be looking in that mystery box.
Okay.
Seeing if
Okay, so you examine the mystery box. It looks like it's been built with some sort of metal. You're not really sure what it is. You can attempt to try to identify it with Arcana, History, and Nature. It's your choice.
Which I'm garbage at. Let's have a go.
Okay. You try to recall the tiniest detail your master trained you into warning. Magic traps and mysterious warn alarms and stuff like that. And you recall that this might be similar to the adamantium you guys were chained when you were in Underdark. It kind of hits you. It's like it looks like that, but the tone of the color looks different. Adamantium with the strong property. It's like shining, glistering in like sort of a goldish hue. This one is shining in a silverish hue. It looks kind of different.
Nice. Well, I'm in my room in the tavern at the moment. I'm gonna look at the box and run around and find 9.
Okay.
And bring him up and go, hey, what do you make of this?
9 is actually outside on the street, looking down on the path, towards the tower. Actually, he's just standing out there, leaning against the sign. In front of the tavern, there's a huge sign that posts a daily meal, what's our daily special today. And he just leans on top of that and just gazing into the far distance. He heard you coming down and search for him. And did you call him? Or
yeah.
Okay. He seems like he's lost in thought for a while. And he responds much later and says, okay. Hi, Tali. What can I help you with?
9. Are you all right? Can you sense something in that tower?
That's the funny thing. I sense home. It's really weird. I haven't get that sense since I was created.
I know your relationship with your creator is not positive. Is this also a bad thing, or is it a good thing?
I don't really know. It feels this whenever I thought of my so-called home, I usually end up in a nightmare in a lab with my former master. This time it feels warm. It feels I can't put it into words, but it feels safe.
I know a little of what that feels like.
He kind of looks as if he understands what you're talking about, and he says, well, nevertheless, you came to me for a reason.
I do. I've got a puzzle, and I think you'll help me solve it. Come and have a look, and I'll just basically drag him upstairs.
Okay. He followed you, just being dragged and all. And you guys end up in the room, and you showed him the boxes. He kind of looks at it and tried to identify on himself. Try to identify it by himself. Sorry. Poor choice of words. Let's see. Friends. 9. He's gonna try. Let's see. No Arcana. No. All right. He's gonna try it. Okay. With his sense, he kind of leans a little bit closer to it, and as his hand touches on top of it, the boxes starts, kind of weird pattern shows up on top of it, and eventually it forms a pattern that looks awfully familiar to you, Tali. It looks like, where's the pattern? It looks like this.
God, I'd love to see it if my roll 20 hadn't crashed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Ew.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wait for you to reset.
It's because you're on a Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not blaming that. It's more likely my bandwidth is just dead.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks
Still
like
starting to
this.
split off the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, the flat earthers theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb
Tully
fool.
just went black and just like, oh, where am I?
Just traumatized, just
Yeah.
flashback to like, oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, in front of you, I'll just describe it for you since you can hear
Thank
it.
you.
It looks awfully like the sun symbol you saw pretty earlier before. Which is branded currently on Viking's hand.
Yep. That royal crusty identification. God. Yep. Well, this will be worth a lot of money.
Probably.
Are you saying my hand would be too?
Just cut it off and put it in an auction house. Human hands
Well, not
with
your-
royal
Not
symbols.
your hand, but all of you, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
he
I
nine
look at mine and be like,
kinds- yeah, nine
"Do you know
kinds
anything
of
about
looks
me?"
at it, and just looks at you and says, "This is fascinating."
Do you reckon if I got the key, it'd be locked to him? Like someone, it's got to be locked to people, right?
Well, I would be lying if I said I'd never seen this symbol before. But it's probably better to wait for Viking to show up. and
No,
describe it as
tell me
a
now. I must know.
game.
I've seen this
Well,
symbol before
if
as
you
well.
insist. I've seen this from my master. While he was not part of the royals, he does take orders from them constantly. And this symbol belongs to the Solarius sovereign. They are a powerful family of royalties who share the same blood from a god of sort, apparently. Well, that's what the legends describes, but their symbol apparently is the sun, and they kind of inherit that from their ancestors.
That's awesome.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way, but maybe.
Terrifying, but god damn, it's cool. Imagine being part of a family with the blood of the gods running through, and if the king truly is one of them, that explains a lot of the reactions some people have to him. And we've run into your master. He was very
You mean
cagey about it.
You mean Viking? Wait, hold on a second. But he's gonna do something. Hold on, real quick. Let's see. See if he can. Okay. He kind of gives it a thought and then turns towards you and says, "You sure he's part of the family?" He doesn't strike me with his aura and everything. He doesn't strike me the resemblance. Usually, let me just put it this way: the Solarius sovereign, and the royal bloodline, usually gives out gentle glow, as if they're gods walking on Earth, well, on our green soil. And Viking's aura, with all due respect, has kind of a darker tone.
Oh, yeah, no, there's nothing gentle about Viking, but he did make a deal with a death god, so I'm attributing most of that to that.
Perhaps.
that he was marked by your creator with a parchment that identified him as something royal. I don't know what it is, but it bore this mark.
Okay. Let's wait until he returns, and we'll
Mhm.
see more about.
Well, before then, I've got another box, and I pull out the box with Callista's gem in it and slam that down and just go, hey.
He kind of
I may
looks
have-
at you and you can't hardly tell. Usually he's like in monotone of stern and like concentrated look. But this time he actually gives a gentle smile on his face. He's like, okay, another boxes. I get
The
it.
tower was crumbling. It was a free-for-all. I figure while we're identifying things, what do you reckon this is?
Thing. And he tried it. Let's see. Okay. He kind of gives it a gentle knock on each side, and the boxes kind of like he's trying the patterns. You can see that there are a few kind of like buttons or of sorts you can press, and it goes in from when you press one side, the other side pops out, and he kind of does a round of checking, and eventually the boxes crumble and retreated into a small cube. Inside there is some sort of a smallest but prettiest diamond you have ever seen, with a tone of pure darkness within.
If this was an animation, dollar signs would have just materialized in Tali's eyes.
Yes. It's so small you can pick it up with just your index fingers and thumb. However, it kind of shows that some kind of blackish hue as the box is open, and 9 is kind of immediately taps one side at the bottom of the boxes, and it returns into the normal boxing and covers everything up. And he's like, "Where did you get this?" With
When we were
concerned tone.
imprisoned by the drow, I
Okay.
might have nicked it while everything was crumbling.
Okay.
I think it originally belonged to Callista.
This must have something to do with the lore of the Black Diamond she always talked about. Well, according to her family lore, this is nothing to mess around with, especially with a powerful artifact such as this one. According to her, this kind of drains the life force from you. Luckily, none of us have touched it. So
Yeah, no.
yeah.
This is a drop in front of your worst enemy. Let them touch it. Let them die. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gently places the box on your palm and says, "I will guide you through how to open the box. Just promise me not to play with it.
Oh God, no!
Unless
I
it's
like being
really
alive.
important." Yep. Okay.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy that.
Okay. And
away.
yeah, you tuck that black diamond away, and as well as the boxes. So yeah, is that all?
Yeah, then I'll just hang out with 9 until the king
Okay.
gets back.
9 is actually gonna take a walk towards the watchtower. He's like, if you would like to join me, I would like to check what is happening in that watchtower.
Okay.
Okay. Then you two wanders off into the direction of the watchtower. Well, going back, that will be the part of you, and going back to Ravani. Ravani, roll me 2 d20s. This not 2 d20s. 1 Arcana, and 1. Let's see what it is. Sleight of hand.
Okay, so Arcana,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was a good one. Sleight of hand.
Yes. All right. You think that as you're placing, sprinkling the components onto the homunculi, you kind of clumsy fingered a little bit, and some of the sparking's a little bit much, some of this a little bit not. It's probably not enough. Well, despite the clumsiness, you still managed to draw the circle, which is required on the floor, to perform the ritual, and with the components distributed accordingly, and you place your hands on the homunculi and starts to perform the ritual, as you're speaking in a tone, in a weird chanting, when you saw on the book, on the tome of golem crafting. So
All right.
so as you put your hands onto your familiar, you can feel the same string of power running through you to the familiar, and then returns repeatedly. You don't know how long it's been past, since you're kind of sort of like in a trance state, but you somehow made a connection with your familiar, and there is actually a small message that was left. It's kind of like a small image of sorts. You see a few things the homunculi saw before. You see your mother crafting as like a the sighting is kind of wrong, because your angle of vision is actually from down the floor, and you're looking up towards so your mom seems gigantic. You don't know why, but it looks like she's kind of arguing with someone, with a cloak, like the black cloaked figure, and the someone kind of stomped a staff on his hand, and your mom kind of staggered back and puts on a defense state, and that's all you see. Yeah.
Okay.
As you finish the ritual, you feel exhausted, like all your power has been drained. It's mechanic wise, you used up all your spell slots just to perform this, and you successfully, I assume you're going to perform the ritual to enhance the attributes of the homunculi, right? Yeah, you successfully did that.
Awesome.
Yeah. But you feel exhausted, and then you immediately pass out on the floor, just fast into sleep. Like, I'm so tired, I could dead nap right now. Just,
out like a light.
Yeah. Luckily, you're in the room, so it's fine. As the moment, Viking, you're returning to the tavern. I'm not sure. Currently, are you investigating out of town, or?
No. So I left the Adventure League.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if I can retcon a quick detour. I'm looking for fish.
Oh.
For core.
Okay.
So I'd be like, oh shit, I forgot to get more fish.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be like, and then I kind of, head back into the Adventure League. I'm like, one more thing. You know where I can get some fish or meat or like fresh stuff?
Esme doesn't even look up. She said, just go to the merchant's shop. It's right around the corner. Or the fish market, if you wish to.
Fish market. I'll head to the fish market then.
Okay, the fish market is this way.
Yeah, so I'll head there.
She's just like, it's just over the tavern. You can't miss it.
So I go there, and I'm like, Cara, because I'm assuming she would already be here.
Like, she was with you, and then she's gone. Like, the cat has her own characteristic, so, like, or her own personality, so she just, like, comes and goes.
I assumed she just seen the fish market and went for a feast.
Yeah, but as you called, she somehow like formed on your shoulder, and she's like take a yawn and like, okay, what now? What's new?
I need to know what your fish of choice is, and I'm like,
Salmon would be nice. The top quality salmon. Bass it's okay, and I guess I don't know. Suits never fit me that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he was an asshole.
He
And
always,
I
he
actually
always
said that
eats
to
the
her.
best quality of the fish. I always end up getting the bones. So
I know, when you deserve only the finest of fancy feasts.
thank you. All right.
So,
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go over to the fish market, and I'm
Okay.
gonna find the first place. I'm like, yeah. So how much for 20? And I look to her, and I'm like,
Okay.
25 pounds of fish,
What's your
knowing that that's quite a
okay?
crazy amount of fish.
What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is a 10, which is bare minimum.
Okay. 10. So, yeah, as you're bargaining with the shop owner about 25 pounds of fish, he looks at you suspiciously. Is like, you sure 25 pounds all by yourself? How would you carry 25 pounds of fish all by yourself? With no carts? No crates?
I plan on eating it right here, sir. Very sarcastically.
Fair enough. Why am I arguing with someone who's paying to buy my fish? Fine. What kind of fish do you like?
Salmon, preferably, and
Top quality salmon, right away, sir. Righto. And he just like peels the fish scales and everything, and quickly like just process the fish, and then puts them all in one crate. And it's like, crate is on the house. Now there will be 25 pounds. There'll be 5 gold pieces, please. And yeah, he looks at you.
I look.
And-
I'm like,
yeah.
5 gold, not a problem.
As you're reaching into your pouch, you notice that your pouch is gone.
Son of a bitch.
And unfortunately, that one, since you put your stuff inside the bag of holding.
Are you talking about the bag of holding is gone?
Yep. And your money bag.
I'm like, motherfucker. I will be back, sir. I have to go murder somebody.
You better be.
It appears
I
somebody
got
has
the 25
lifted
pounds of
my.
fish I just processed. If you don't come back, I'll go to the mayor and have you arrested for scamming.
If you go to the mayor, I'll slit your fucking throat in the night.
All right, the fisherman is like, okay, yeah, okay. Just, you know what? Just take the fish. Just don't kill me, please.
No, I'm
Just
not
don't
stealing
kill me, please,
from
sir.
you.
Uh,
I'm not here to steal from you.
I promise I
I
won't
don't
call
want any
guards.
trouble. I will be back with the money.
As he said,
Somebody
guards.
has liberated or reallocated
Yeah.
my money bag.
As he said,
And
guards.
once
you
I
notice that-
locate said person, I'm going to liberate their
Right.
head from their shoulders.
The owner is like, okay, whatever you say, it's fine. I won't call guards.
That's how I deal with thieves.
I won't call the guards. Don't worry about it. I won't say a thing. And as you were having a conversation, you notice on the corner of your eyes 2 guards walking towards you. And one of them just like, hey, Benson, what? Are you alright, Benson? And the other guard just like, looks like we got someone trying to rough Benson up. Am I right? And he just looks towards you and says, well.
I look to the guard and I'm like, quite on the contrary, good sir. And I've like 360'd my attitude. Like now I'm being very persuasive instead of intimidative.
Okay.
I'm like, we were just dealing a very fair transaction for some product here from Benson, and it appears that somebody has stolen my money bag and my bag. So he was kind enough to offer to hold on to the product until I reacquaint myself with my items. Any
Hey,
idea
Jones!
who would have done that?
The other guard.
And I'll do a persuasion check.
Okay, roll for persuasion first.
8.
And the other guard, the one who was talking to Benson right now, and says, "Hey, Jones. Our kind fellow here said he's not threatening Benson. What do you think?" The other guard just looks at you with sharp eyes and says, "I don't know, man. I think you better go with us. Poor Benson here shit his pants. If you're not threatening him..."
I can't help that. That sounds like a personal problem. Maybe he should go see a healer on that one.
Benson's like, "Oh, okay. I'll go see a healer. Please, just don't kill me."
I didn't say I was going to kill you.
Two of the guards just looks
under
at
my
you.
breath.
It's like, "Sir, lay down your weapons and come with us."
Yeah, no, I'm not. No,
Oh,
I don't lay my
so
weapons down for
resisting
anyone.
arrest then. I love it. And they start charging towards you.
Fucking wings time. No companions near me. Hell
Nope.
yeah.
Nope.
What?
All right, two of the guards charge towards you. They got the upper hand. But roll for initiative.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
Ooh, natural 20. Because I get.
Natural 20. Nice. Yeah, I know. The sentinel shoot. Let's see what the guard do. Let's see. Where's my guard? Come on, guards. Guard. All right. Initiative. All right. That will be a 9. Cool. Guards. Add that to 9. All right. So you can go first, since you're on the top of the list.
They try and rush me and I dodge the attack because I'm just kind of anticipating it.
Yeah.
So when I see them come towards me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use my Fallen Azamar ability,
Mm-hmm.
the Necrotic Shroud. So I have
Ooh.
dark wings,
Yeah.
skeletal, ghostly, flightless wings sprout from my back.
Okay.
And I said, I'm not here to cause any troubles.
All right.
So they must do a
intimidation,
charisma
right?
saving throw
Yeah, charisma save.
each.
All right.
And the DC is 14.
Oh no, they definitely failed. As you spread your wings and like with darkness in your eyes and like black lightning circles around you, you shouted at them saying, "I'm not here to cause any trouble. Stand down." And the guards kind of immediately dropped their weapons like, "No! Run! It's Miracle's worshippers! Run!" And just like the other guard, one of the guards just dropped all his stuff and started running. The other guard kind of crumbles on the ground and just trying to reach into his pocket for something. He's trying really hard though. And eventually, with a few trembles, he pulls out a horn and blow it. Bum, 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 bum. And you heard the sound across the town with a loud bang of noise. And after a few moments, the same horn sound coming from the other side of the town with a large group of foot stomping sound coming right towards you.
All I wanted was some fish. Like, what the hell?
I totally get you. But anyway, you feel roll me an insight check.
Insight.
You
15.
feel that they have probably seen something similar to what you're performing before, and probably from Merkel's worshippers. That's why he yelled at the first sight of seeing your
Him saying Merkel was like, okay, so I probably shouldn't stick around here in the first place.
Cora's
Too
like,
long, so
Cora immediately jumps on top of you and says, "Go, go, go! I can cover you. Go!"
I'm already gone. I'm like,
Okay, so you start running. You're like, what's your top speed?
30, so I could do 60 as
Okay. 30. So you run like your life depends on it. As you run, did you still leave the necrotic shroud or?
No. As soon as I like get by the door, I'm like, I'll be back to pay for those fish.
You
Yeah.
can take
And
the
then I,
fish. Just don't
No,
kill me,
I don't
please.
steal shit. That's not me. And I like drop the shroud and then run away.
Okay, so you drop the shroud and start running. You run into a corner and you run into the corner of the alley, and Cora just immediately slap you on your head and says, "Shush, just stay still. I need to concentrate." And within a few moments, you heard like a loud foot stomping sound just running across you to the other side. However, they do stop by and check on you when you're standing there individually and like with no one around, looking suspicious. But the guard just like, you notice that the one they call the other guard called Jones is like in the group as well, and says, it's not him, it's the other guy. It's like, let's just he's near Benson's place. He probably murdered Benson. Let's go get him. And yeah, they just ran off. Yeah, so you're slightly confused, and
Yeah.
as you look down on your hands, you notice that, holy shit, when did I have claws?
Oh. I look over at Cora. I'm like,
Cora's right now on top of your head, and weirdly, she's not speaking or doing anything at all.
I'm taking my guidance from her. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and hold kind of still.
All right, it lasts for about 5 minutes or so. You stand really, really still until she eventually says, "Okay, we're good, we're clear." Whew. You feel this, as she says that, you feel this cold sense of feeling drawn away from your body. You feel warm for a second. And then you look at your palms. You're no longer having claws.
I'm like, have I told you how much I love you? Like, looking up.
Yeah, she's like, never enough. All right.
This is why I keep you fed
But
and a pee.
this guy's self will only last. Well, this guy, if another person, is really exhausting, and I suggest you put on a mask or anything to cover, well, this, or cloak may be better.
Yeah, I have a cloak of protection, so I like put the hood up.
Okay. All right. So yeah, as you do walk back towards the tavern, or
I'm thinking the tavern is probably a place that they would look for me.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see. We were over here, right, by like the magic circle, that
Yes.
kind of area.
Yeah. You're
So I'm
here.
like, I'm gonna
Walk
go.
into the alley. Yep.
Kind of take the long way around.
Mm-hmm.
Over to like the Adventures League area.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind going to find Tully
Mm-hmm.
and tell her that somebody stole my shit
Okay.
and they think I did some bad stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
As you walk on the roads, Cora just talks on your shoulder and says, "Huh, maybe it's that kid." I don't
which
know.
kid?
Well, when you're having a bargain with the fish owner, well, I saw a kid running past you. I mean, I wasn't paying much of attention. The fishes look so delicious, so yeah, he's the only one walked by you, so maybe it's him.
I looked for him like, have I told you how much I loved you today?
Never
I'm
enough.
like this is.
Never enough. She
And I like
points.
scratch her head,
Yeah.
even of mine.
Okay. She kind of like feeling comfortable with the scratching. Apparently it hits a soft spot, and she's like, "All right, since you're being so kind, I will show you the same courtesy of pointing the direction. I think he ran off that way," and she points to this area. You were here. The street was filled with merchants and makeshift shops and all kinds of stuff. And you were here, and the kids ran that way.
So with my cloak on, I'm going to like kind of lean over slightly, making myself slightly shorter. And yeah, I mean like,
Yeah.
And I'm going to head towards where she said. I'm like, if I get caught by the guards, make sure you go tell Tolly and
Yeah,
there'll be
don't
an
count.
extra big
Yeah,
fish
just
for you.
don't count on me staying. Don't worry. I'll definitely let her know, but I'm a cat, so don't count on
There'll
me
be
on
extra
staying.
fish in it for you.
Thank you. And you guys went on to find whatever stole your stuff. And let's go to Tolly. And at this moment, you and Nine almost appeared at the watchtower. The watchtower is not as big as you thought. It's probably because it was on a high hill, like a small like bump, so it looks taller than it appeared, taller and bigger than it appeared. Anyway, the watchtower the outer wall of the watchtower seems worn and probably built for decades or even more centuries, maybe. For there are moths across the walls, battle like scars on top of it. You think you even saw one part where there are multiple holes on the wall. Maybe there are siege weapons attacked on it, causing the dent on the walls, but it's still. It looks sturdy, and it looks it can take on. It can still last for another 100 years. So yeah, but for elves and well, from whatever your master taught you, like you immediately, with your keen eyes, you immediately found several infiltrating points to easily get inside without causing any unwanted attention. So, you walk towards the watchtower. There are apparently a few guards standing on the outside and like just exchanging what you think it's hot beverage. Like they're like pouring like okay, just like give me a few more of that so-called cocoa. That Sylvana is a kind soul.
Yeah.
And they start drinking. They haven't noticed you yet. So what would you like to do?
I'm just going to look at Nine. This is your show. I'm following your lead. Do we want to announce our presence? Do we not? What do you want me to do?
I'm not sure if they'll let us in so easily.
That shouldn't be much of a problem. If you want in, I can get us in.
I want in without causing any trouble, so I mean
Follow me.
Alright. And he followed you. You guys ended up finding like there's a small breach on the wall. It's not big enough for a bear to walk through, but it's definitely big enough for both of you to just like dodge out of into the shadow and walk in. It's definitely fine. You
It also
assume-
helps that I pulled all the guards away from
Yeah,
the
you really
rest of
did.
the city.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, probably.
And I get
Plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did I overhear them?
No, no,
the
no,
guards
not
say
yet.
that
That's probably yeah.
Oh, okay.
You guys are you guys are all doing this simultaneously. So yeah, hasn't
Yeah.
happened yet.
Did I ever hear the guards say Sylvana gave
Yeah.
them the drink?
Yeah.
I'm laughing to myself, going, "Oh, she's probably going to dope them when she wants to break in." Like, I'm like, this is smart. I love her play. But yeah.
Okay. So you guys found the breach, walk leaning against the shadow and walk in. You assume that's probably why the guards are standing guard here, because the watchtower, though it could last longer, it does appear that there are a few cracks and breaks that people wouldn't want it
It's old.
to
Yeah.
broke. So yeah, you went inside. The ground floor is huge. It's like you can see most of the display there. There is a small armory, just on the left side of your hand. Just on your left hand side. Sorry. And there's a small bookshelf in front of you, right in front of you. And then there's a far corner of the room on your right hand side, and you see there's a staircase leading up. So yeah, the whole area seems unnaturally big, judging by how small the watchtower is. The inner seems just unnaturally huge, and
Bigger on the inside.
yeah. And on the floor, as you walk towards it, what's your passive perception?
It's high. 17.
17. You notice that there are scratch marks on the floor, though some of that covered by rugs and like cloth. You can't really tell. You do see some of the few carvings and scratches on the floor. What do you like to do?
I'm going to look at them. I get the feeling something was dragged and it was bad news.
Okay. So you drag away the rugs. 9 is helping you to do so as well. You notice that there's a huge, kind of like a circle on the floor. And it's carved in ruins you've seen before in the Lost Temple. And some part of it's still shining in bright colors. In fact, it's shining in all kinds of colors.
9. Magic's awake. What does it mean?
This is not my specialty, but I can certainly try. Well, sadly, this part is beyond me. I've never seen anything like this, besides the time we're in that lost temple. But
I'm going to stand there for a hot minute and memorize it, and then I'll
Yeah.
bring it back and I'll get Ravena to see if she can decipher it.
okay. But according to what I observed, there is the layout seems to have a hidden doorway downstairs. Maybe we can. And he started patting on the wall, trying to find something. If you wish to, you can help him. Or you can find it yourself. It's fine.
I'm gonna cover back up what we've messed with, and then I'm gonna be like, 9. Are we sure we want to do this without backup?
I'm feeling the feeling gets stronger here. But I don't sense it in a harmful way.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain we're fine. It's just I need to find this. And
Okay.
he started patting on the wall. If you wish to investigate, roll me an investigation check.
I'm concerned we're gonna get caught. I'm keeping watch.
Okay. Then roll me a perception check. All right. At this moment, when you're like looking around, you accidentally look across a bookshelf, and then you notice that. Wait a minute. One of the books seems a little ajarred.
Oh, can I pull it?
Yeah. So you pull the book down, it kind of falls down naturally, and a large mechanic sound kind of clicks and starts shifting. At the same time, you heard a loud horn coming from across the town, and then the other side starts the horn sound started coming from the other side. You assume something happened because the guards who were standing guard on the front, once they heard the sound, they were like, "Invasion on my watch? No way!" And they started running, just like, yeah. And that's also covers up the noise you're making,
Yeah.
because the mechanic cogwheel sound, it's pretty huge actually. The guards
Yeah.
are not paying any attention. So as the mechanic starts moving, you see that the center of the ruin starts making way. It starts turning and spinning, and until eventually it spins a hole onto the ground with stairs going down, and there are torches on one side of the wall, lighting up the path.
Nice.
Nine's like, well,
It's going here?
I believe so.
Alright. I'm scraping your head.
Okay.
It's magic garbage. I don't trust traps.
No, you don't need to roll for perception because you're still on guard. With that perception, you notice that the stairs, first thing first, they have no what's that called? There are no holders. There's nothing on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's the stone-made staircase just leans down, and the depth seems rather deep. In fact, you assume that it goes way down into underground. But the light provides you warmth, and unlike the time you were dragged into Underdark, it doesn't feel cold this time. It feels warm, if not hot, in fact. And yeah, sorry. You walk all the way down into. Eventually, you're not sure how long you've been walking. Probably 5 to 10 minutes, until eventually you saw the underbelly of the tower. It's a rather huge circle with also the similar ruins carved on the ground, but this time, in the middle of the ruin, there is a giant purple, kind of unstable portal you've seen before.
Yep.
By unstable, it does sparks from time to time, bring out a huge chunk of energy, like blast out of the way. However, every time it outbursts, the ruined circle kind of emits sort of like an invisible shield that covers around it, preventing it from ever escaping. Nine looks hypnotized, in fact, towards the purple portal, and he starts walking towards it. Yeah.
No.
You grab him with ease, and he tried to shrug you off.
I'm looking in his eyes. I'm like, is this thing got you under thrall?
He can't roll me a strength check.
Oh,
Let me check.
boy,
Yeah.
sorry. I got the strength
Alright.
save, not a check, but it's the
Okay.
same dang thing.
Okay.
It's. I don't want him going.
Okay. Don't worry. Since it's the same, I'll rule that as fine. You grab him easily with one hand, and he can shrug you off. But when you start questioning him, he looks like he's out of the place. Like he never took his gaze off the purple portal. He just stares at it and not really responding to what you're saying.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. where I've got a hold on him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab a rope,
Mm-hmm.
basically tie a harness under him, tie
Okay.
a harness under me, and I'm walking the fuck out.
Okay.
like, nope.
Use a sleight of hand check. I'm gonna roll him the strength check to see if he try to wiggle his way out.
God.
See how everybody has been
Yeah.
starting to adopt my leashes theory?
It's a great theory.
Yeah,
It's a great theory if I hadn't rolled a goddamn natural 1.
Yeah. He wiggled, though the rope is simply not enough to contain him. He wiggled his way out and starts walking, trying to walk towards the the portal.
Yep, nope.
And,
Same thing again, and this time I'm on his belt, and I'm throwing my full body weight into it.
Okay. And
Think,
that,
what would Tamora do?
Jeez, I don't know.
as you lunge yourself onto his body, you notice that the purple energy, the ether that was floating inside of his body, has changed color into purple. It was blue before. It was blue sparks all across his bodies, but this time it's purple. And he tried to backhand you into like letting go. So, let's see. Strength, dexterity. All right. He rolled a natural 1, so he backhanded into one side of the wall. However, that one side of the wall has a rune carved on top of it. As he smashed that, let's see how hard he smashed it. All right. As he smashed that end, the rune kind of crash and crumbles, as if it's taking too much weight on top of too much burden, and the circle starts to partially the light starts to partially disappear. As the light partially disappear, the blue sparks from the portal starts hammering into the walls, making a loud noise like whoosh, and a dent just really close to you guys, about an inch. Yeah, so it almost hit you guys, and it looks like it's getting volatile by the minute.
Yep. Hilt of my dagger. I'm so sorry, 9.
Yeah.
He's getting knocked out.
So you knock him with
Just the hilt of a
just
dagger.
the hilt of the dagger.
Not killing him.
Okay. Wait, did you get a new dagger? No, I don't think you have a dagger. So, but
I thought I kept like one from Suits or Ravani forever ago. Like it's old, it's rusty, it's nasty.
Last time. Hold on, let me think. Last time, Hamura.
That's okay if not. I'll take it my baton.
No,
But yeah,
I'm just thinking. I think it's fine. You use the dagger back end of the dagger to knock him out. He's not resisting, so yeah, you easily knock him out, like temporarily. You think that it also has something to do with the purple energy that was floating inside his body, that makes him easily succumb to any pressure. Yeah, the purplish energy starts growing tentacles, like black lightnings, and starts reaching out towards you guys.
I'm dragging him back up the stairs. I'm using my rope again, and I'm dragging.
Roll me dexterity save with disadvantage because you're dragging someone.
Oh yikes!
Yep. All right, that will be enough for the first one. You dodge the first one by hair as you drag 9 all across the stairs. The lashes is gonna make a second attempt. Roll me a second dexterity save. All right, you easily dodge this one by you do a backflip and leap your way on top of the stairs, and that will conclude it. as you walk across the front, on top of the stairs, you quickly push the book back to where it belongs, and the ground starts closing and closing until it's returned to its normal shape, and nothing really happens by the time the stuff is closed.
I'm just like, I'm sorry, I made the magic mad. I'm gonna pull the rug back up and I'm booking it back to the tavern with
Okay.
Nine.
You notice that more and more guards starts roaming around in the streets as you make your way back. Nine is already back to his consciousness once the ground is like closed, and he's like,
You alright, Emily?
oh, ow, that kind of hurts. Was that you?
Sorry.
Tolly?
Sorry.
All right. Anyway, I.
It possessed you. You.
It's not possessed per se. I can feel the same energy floating inside my body. It's beckoning me for some reason.
Yeah, that's never ended well, ever.
But it doesn't feel harmful though. It feels like someone's calling me towards the other side.
I reiterate, never ended well, ever. Someone calls you to the other side, you're gonna die. Don't die.
Fine, I'll try not to, but it's unlike anything before. Before I felt danger, I got the sense, I got this vibe, but this time it's different. This time I feel safe. I feel family calling. Though that's definitely nonsense. I got no family. The only one, my creator, is definitely not. Anyway.
You have us, and we look after you. But I also fear you catch more flies with honey. And I just...
Alright.
When things are too nice, there's always a trap, is in my experience.
Okay, and he puts his hands on your shoulder and says, don't worry. I'll try to be more careful next time.
We're taking back up next time. We're getting a second opinion.
Okay. By the way,
but
what's happening with the guards?
I don't know. It was like some kind of... Like they were saying invasion? I don't think it was an invasion. I feel sorry for the poor sap that sparked it.
Anyway, I guess we better get back to the tavern.
Yeah. Do you want to check it out, or do we want to just go home?
Currently, I would like to go back to tavern, regroup with everyone. Yeah, and make sure everyone's safe. I somehow got this feeling that it's caused by some of us.
We do bring chaos where we go.
Yep. And,
God, he's
so
judgmental. Jeez.
All right. As you guys walk back towards the tavern, now it's Riveni. Riveni, you were awakened by a loud horn. Like a loud blasting sound just by your ears. Like, what the fuck is happening outside? It's kind of like this. Yeah. And you're awake. You heard loud noises also coming from the other side. And it kind of drives away the sleepiness. Well, yeah. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll sort of drag myself back on my feet, and I guess I'll go check to see if what I've been doing actually worked.
Okay. Sorry. If I'm correcting me if I'm misunderstanding this. Do you want to check your creation, or do you want to check downstairs what is happening?
For now, I think I want to check on my creation actually.
Okay. So you inspect your familiar. It doesn't look like you that much after you altered it with the ritual. This time, it looks kind of shadowy, for lack of better words. The whole body of the familiar looks black, like completely in darkness. It's like a dark version of you. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
the skin tone change, and you notice that the body armor attached to the familiar is also changed. This time it looks more like what Tally's wearing instead of what you're wearing. You wear a robe, a cape, and all that, but this time your familiar has a set of armor. Well, in your telepathic connection, you know that these are just for appearance. They don't really do that much, but they're not like actual armor that can provide defenses. But you notice that your ritual definitely completes something for that your familiar to change.
Oh, there you are, little guy. And I'll sort of scoop him back up into a hug and
As you said, here you are, little guy. You heard the response of a firm sound. The same sound of yours, but in a firm, steady steady tone of saying, "Your wish is my command."
oh, he talks.
Your wish is my command. That's all he said. That's all it says.
Uh, all right.
What would you like to do at this point?
I guess I'll go. Sort of scoop him up in my arms, and I guess I'll say. I guess I'll go. I guess I'll head down and sort of check out what's going on downstairs.
Okay. We lost Tully. Tully, are you alright?
Oh.
Camera gone. Anyway.
Yeah, it's crashed again. Sorry, guys.
Alright, it's
Oh,
fine.
jeez.
Don't mind me.
Anyway, as long as you can hear us, it's fine. Riveni, you rush downstairs to check what's happening, only to find Kaz talking to a few guards in the front desk. Kaz has reverted back to his golden dragonborn look as he talks to the guards and says, "Oh, I assure you. Come on, Jones. You know me for how long? And Benny, haven't you been drinking in my bar for so long? I assure you we don't harbor any sorts of criminals, evil, or certainly not Miracle's worshippers. I can assure you we'll report it immediately once we spotted those kind. I don't want it to mess in our town either, so off you go." The other guards is like, well, Kaz is right. The Benny's like the one who was drinking, and he's got a huge scar on the side of his face, missing one of his eyes, and says, "You know, Jones, Kaz is right. He's not the kind who harbor fugitives or criminals, let alone miracle worshippers. I suggest we go search the other way." The other guard Jones is like, fine, I know he won't, but, well, it's not like we can choose to do whether or not do our jobs. I mean, if the mayor demands, we check. Well, it's a routine. I'm sorry, Kaz, if I cause any kind of trouble or inconvenience to your business, but we just have to ask. Kaz is like, fair enough. But if you're done and I'm clear, I can show you the places if you wish to. But if you're done, I got more things to attend to. Please leave. And the other two is like, okay, fine. Just remember to report whenever you cited those criminals. And he's like, okay, sure thing. And he closed the door. just in time for Tully and Nine to see as you guys walk on the other side, on the across of the tavern. You notice that two guards were talking to Kaz, as well as you notice that Viking on the other side, well, dressed in a huge cloak, covering himself with Cora on top of his head. What would you guys like to do at this point? You guys can see each other. Viking and Tully, you guys can see each other. Riveni, you don't. You're still in the tavern. All you can see is Kaz. So
I'm raising an eyebrow and I'm looking directly at the king, just like, what?
Okay.
I guess I'll just walk over to Kaz and ask what was up with the guards.
Don't worry about it. It's just routine check. Apparently there are Merkel worshippers appear like sightings in towns. I mean,
I'm like, what? Where? Those bastards?
You're not there. You're still outside of the tavern,
Right,
on the
right.
side of the bush, seeing the guard just walks away with Tully on the other side with Nine. Yeah, Cora's like, who are you talking to? Just like,
Talking to you, my love.
nah.
Creeping out.
Yeah.
I thought I was going after the kid that stole my shit.
Yeah, and you lead the track near. She kind of points you to various directions. She sensed. One of it is near the tavern, or you can see your friends from there. It's just around here. You were searching along the area, like this part, and you want she points you to here first, and then you're here and seeing Tully and the others across this. Yeah. So, what would you like to do? You guys are here.
I'll also say like I'll also go like by the way, look, I made a new friend, and I basically start just like holding up my homunculus for Kaz to look at.
Okay, Kaz is like
just like beaming with pride.
Okay, Kaz is like, okay, interesting. You should talk to Savannah. She knows much more than I do, but good job, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And
you look exhausted, by the way. Would you like a beer or something? Perhaps something.
My stomach sort of starts growling as soon as he
Yeah.
as soon as he mentions food.
Okay.
I actually look at him sheepishly and I'll reply.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the ritual I did took a lot out of me.
Okay.
I guess the food wouldn't hurt.
All right. Well, we have steaks for tonight. Tonight's special steaks. So yeah. How much? Well, how would you like your steak? Sorry. How would you like your steak? I haven't been to a restaurant for so long. How would you like your steak? Yeah. Medium?
Sure. Medium works for me.
Okay, cool. Yep, one medium steak coming right up, and he walks to the behind of to the kitchen of the tavern. Meanwhile, Viking, you see Tully across the street with guards, where you're trying desperately to evade. Just walks down the main street until they are out of sight. What would you like to do?
I'm still going to be tracking that bastard that stole my stuff.
Okay, so you turn around and Cora's like, yeah, I think, yeah, you guys have been running around in a few points and there's no luck. And Cora's like, well, that leaves us to one final spot. It's right across there. And she points at this direction. She's like, maybe we can try something. Maybe? It's up to you. I'm okay with it.
I trust you with my life. I scratch her head.
Life is a little bit too much, but anyway. Let's go. And she directs you to that direction. Tolly, you see your friend just starts walking. He sees you guys, and he starts turning around and walk through the opposite side.
I'm
Like
walking
Pink
to
Panther
intercept.
style, like dun
Yeah.
like trying to
Yeah,
feel stealthy.
yeah.
My soul, it hurts. And I just make a mental note: teach stealth.
Nice.
Oh.
I'm there with like a twig, like
Yeah.
Beautiful.
9 is
Perfect.
like,
my stealthing techniques.
yeah. 9 speaks, whispers to you, Tolly, and says, I assume that's what caused the guards to be on guard.
I'm never doubting a word on that kind of stuff again. Oh my god. And I walk over to intercept Vakeen. Vakeen? Are you alright?
So
I'm like,
yeah.
you can see me. Like,
how is that possible?
that was awesome.
I have one job in this lousy team, but I'm gonna do it.
I was gone. I swear it wasn't my fault. I was gone to get some fish. And someone stole my wallet, and I'm like rambling on very incoherently. I'm like, they tried to attack me. I went all, dark-eyed and mysterious, the normal thing.
Oh,
And
yes. That would explain.
Not my fault. All I told the shopkeeper is hold on to, the fish until I reallocate you guys or get some money from you guys or find my wallet. And he freaked out and blah, blah, blah. And, like, I'm totally rambling on, like...
Yeah. You're totally describing how annoying the peasants are and how frustrating you are.
I didn't kill anybody. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. 9 is looking at you suspiciously. Is like, are you sure you didn't murder anyone by accident?
Look, my hands are clean. And they're, like, dirty and, like, like full of...
All right. 9 just stands back, leans against the wall, is like, well, what now?
I'm gonna go and find that bastard that stole my wallet and my bag of holding. And I'm like, yeah, bastard. And I'm gonna get it back. Cora's been helping me.
Hey, hello, guys. Yeah, Cora just like sits there, yawn, and do a roll in midair, like just scratching the itches. Yes.
Well, thank you, Cora, for stopping this from getting any worse.
Well, he promised me 25 pounds of fish. How could a girl say no to that?
Stars.
Yep.
Oh, everything's going to be fish centered for the next month. But that's fine.
Yeah, we still lack one spot we haven't checked. It's that way. Just across the road. Yep.
Would you like me to have a scope out, or are you good on your own? I mean, I don't trust that things are going to go well, but I trust you'll get the job done. So,
either way, you can come with me at a distance. Don't look like you're with me. If I attract the guards, then I'll beeline it away, and you just murder whoever has my shit. I mean, reallocate.
of course.
All right. 9 goes towards you guys and says, well, in that case, I think you guys don't need us. Well, you wouldn't need me for scouting and stuff. So I will go accompany Ravani. I want to check how she's been up to and how she's doing. Just making sure.
Feel free to update her on everything that just took place.
Sure thing.
Rest up and oh my god, just stay safe. Don't move.
Definitely will do. And he starts walking towards the tavern. Yeah. The guards look at him like suspiciously. They're like kind of looking at everyone suspiciously at this point. But once they see Nine's like body and everything, they just quickly just divert their attention to the other guy because, yeah, he doesn't look like the suspect they're looking for. And for you two, you see Nine walk into the tavern. For Riveni, you see Nine walk into the inside of the tavern just in time for your steak is ready. Kaz is like, here you go. He serves the plate in front of you and says, that will be your steak. And there are some broccolis that's really good for your health. And for wines, what would you prefer, red or white?
You want that one that have any juice by any chance?
One juice coming right up, and he just plays the juice on the table. It's orange juice, so it's fine. OJ sauce.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's you start eating while Nine walks into the tavern. All right, that will come.
Yeah,
This
I'll leave them. I'll leave them over. Like my mouth partially full. Where are you? Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Okay, we're doing fine. And he updates you about the situation going on with Viking and Tolly and about the thief and everything. And he's like, I'm fine without, the proper food and everything. I never really eat, so it's fine. You can enjoy your meal. I'll be going upstairs, seeing you, okay? I really need some rest.
And I make sure to show my my new homunculus that I made as well. Just like I showed them to Kaz.
He inspects it and he actually provides some professional opinions about how you can modify it with better tactics and everything. He says you were trying to make it more fitting for a rogue style, right? For assassins.
I guess I guess you could say that, yeah.
All right, then he starts talking to you about terms about how you can modify it to better suits the style you want. And as you guys are having the conversation, Viking and Tolly, you guys are walking towards where Cora points you towards. And along the way, there are a few, the people, it's near 2 in the afternoon as you guys are walking. The guards have go back. They have gone back to their original post because their search is kind of a waste of time, a huge waste of time, to be exact. So they kind of return to their post and kind of looks around everywhere, just cautiously trying to identify some potential threats. So it took you guys a while to dodge their sights and everything, to just walk on in the shadows and everything, until eventually you were in front of a small cottage. Yeah. The cottage looks old. It looks like it haven't been used for a while. The fences are broken, so you can easily walk in. The front door the front door is slightly ajar, so slightly open and ajar. So you can take a peek inside. However, it's extremely dark. The cottage seems to have no source of light. You can still see with your dark vision, but it's middle of the afternoon outside, so the differences makes it a little bit hard to tell the details because there's still light on the outside. So yeah, what would you like to do?
Can we see if there's any sign of movement inside?
Not really. It's just everything dark and empty. like I said, it looks like it haven't been used for quite some time.
Are the windows broken at all, or
Oh yeah. Oh, there's no window at all. Like, there's just
I grab
huge
a rock.
hole. Yeah.
and I cast light on it and I throw it in the window,
Okay. You throw it inside. The rock fumbles.
like through the broken window.
Yeah. The rock fumbles in the ground, like, and you see like some of the furnitures. You assume you see a huge closet on the side where you throw your rock in. You see two beds on the far end of the hallway. There is a small hallway down. Yeah. So, and that's about it.
I looked at Tali. I'm like, did we circle the building yet to see if there's any other entrances?
But I'll do that first.
Okay.
If there's a back entrance, then I'll get her to.
Okay. Roll me a
Alright.
perception check for scouting and trying to
Boy.
see the details.
Okay.
All right.
Not good.
You don't really see any, well, obvious entrances, but, well, in another way of speaking, you don't see any movement, you don't see anything else, but there are already a huge opening. The front door, you can just walk right in. So you assume that. Roll me a survival check. Let me check.
Thank you. Yeah, because this is going to be round 2 of Tally looks for a secret entrance. Oh my
Okay.
god.
Wow.
No.
That's definitely an achievement.
I'm gonna give you advantage.
It's called I want to go home now, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Mic drop. I'm out.
Yeah. You
electrocutes you.
not only not see anything suspicious, in fact, you think it's nice and cuddly in a weird way.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Comforting.
and
Yeah,
as
the
you
abandoned-
as you
Right.
circle
Familiar.
around, you accidentally tramp over a kind of like a nest, and a small
shit.
badger just ran out. It's like just like grin at you and try to claw you, like as you like kick at its nest and everything.
I'm pissed off and I hiss right back.
Yeah, he's the badger just looks at you and then just returns to its nest like angrily as you like walks off. Yeah. All right. So you return to Viking.
I do.
Yep. What do you do?
Wildlife's distinctly unfriendly, but other than that, we're alright.
Well, I'm going in, and I kick in the door.
Okay. So you not charge. You walk right in and kick on the door. And you left your foot inside the door because the door is surprisingly soft and crumble-y. As you put your foot onto it, you accidentally stuck your foot inside of the door. So yeah, Tali, you look Viking awkwardly stuck his foot inside the door, tried to pull it out.
I've got my back against the wall with knives out, and I just go, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Bags
like
and knives.
push,
Pulling.
like one foot stuck in the door. I'm gonna like try and put that foot onto the ground to just push through the door.
Oh, that's fairly easy because the door seems like it can't take any more weight as it crumbles into pile of like broken wood pieces onto the floor. But that loud sound must have awoken something. As you can hear in the shadow, there's a kind of slight shifting sound, like someone is walking, like that. So, what would you like to do?
And when I kick the door, I'm like, oh yeah.
All right. So as you look inside, you see a better, well, layout, if I would call it, as you fully transition into dark vision. you see like the hallway leads down. There are two sets of rooms on each side, and the hallway leads to a back entrance, like a back door. And yeah,
I look to Tully. I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? Did that?
There was a badger. It was angry. I wasn't in the mood.
all right. As you two arguing quietly, you heard more roughing sound, like kind of from near far.
I'm sword and shield in hand, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here to get my shit back. Well, either
Quick,
one way or another.
Yeah, you heard a slight sound coming from the other side as you were speaking.
I'm gonna rush down the hallway.
Okay. You rush down the hallway. The sound is actually coming from the back door. So you rush down the hallway. What would you like to do? You
If I hear it coming from the door, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna just burst through the door.
Okay. You burst through the back door onto the other side. You see a few small figures running to the back end. Roll me. Hold on. What your passive perception is 10, right?
Yeah.
So you see two small figures running to the far side.
I'm right on him, and I'm good at chases.
Okay. Tolly. As
How far is
Viking-
the first one?
The first
wait.
one is about 15 feet away from you. He's desperately running, but all right.
Stop or grovel is what I tell the first one.
Okay. All right. Before we resolve that, Tolly, you notice that something's weird. You don't see any footsteps. Like the room, it's abandoned, old, and dirty.
Dust. There should be
So
footprints.
there should be dust when the other guy is running away. But there's no footprints. Besides Vikings.
Yes.
There's no footprints on the ground. And you don't see anything like... it feels like almost as if the guy was running has no weight.
Magic. Bloody magic. Tiny magic user. Come the hell out. I'm not going to kill you. I just want my stuff back.
And as you speak of that, I'm going to resolve what happened to Viking's part. Viking, you notice that the target is still moving. It's like it's running as if it's not hearing any words you're saying. You notice that, however, this time when you use the magic, you notice that there's a slight disturbance on the shape of the figure. It's so small as if it's just just because of the sunlight and change of light makes you see things. But you think you saw its like figures shift.
So my pally sense is tingling.
Okay.
So I'll use divine sense.
Oh boy. You this time you detect a huge chunk. Like it's kind of like it will make someone claustrophobic go crazy, as there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of undead just beneath it.
Oh shit.
That's unfortunate.
How far is the furthest one away from me?
This one, who is running away from you, it's now gaining speed. It's now 30 feet away from you.
Fucking.
All right. You try to. Oh, it's a cantrip. Interesting.
No. I throw them in cantrips because it's
It's
my
your
channel
poly
divinity.
ability. Okay.
Yeah, it's just somewhere to put it.
Okay. So, you try to use that, and that figure kind of disappeared. As you issue the command, you notice that the figure kind of wave in midair like a mirage and then gone. For Tolly, you
I'm out of
heard
ideas.
the sound coming from where Viking is, i.e., the back entrance, and says, How would I know you keep your promises?
I am doing the classic knife. Drop it. Pattern. Drop it. Like, just disarming.
Okay.
I just want my things.
Okay.
That's it.
As you drop your baton, this is the first time since a long time you've used your baton. You notice that the hunger inside is like guiding you towards some place. It's like almost as if it's whispering to you a certain direction. Do you still drop it?
Shit. Yep, but I make note of where the hell it's pointing me at.
Okay, so you drop it, but then you realize, oh shit, because the baton returns your hand automatically.
This
for a
thing's
few
magic.
seconds Later,
can't do
it
that.
returns your hand.
Point stands.
Yeah, so the baton, this time, it points to a rather clear direction. It is the right side of the room, right side of the hallway, the first room. It's pointing, it's literally pointing at that room. And you're feeling the hunger again.
Yep, if I can. Shit's about to get real.
Toss me the baton!
Who's like? Is that Cora talk? Like, I don't understand.
No,
who's
it's the
talking.
sound coming from your back. This time you heard it too. The first time you don't hear anything. You just wonder why Tali hasn't come out yet. But this time you heard the same sound.
I mean, alright.
Yeah. It sounds like a boy. Well, a fairly young voice of a male. So, what do you do?
Where it's coming from, there's nobody there. I'm just going to wing it wide ever so slightly of
Okay.
where I heard the voice coming from.
So you
Like,
throw the baton.
You want it? Here it is.
So you throw the baton towards the door. To your surprise, the door actually shift and turn into a small portal as it sucks in your baton, and for a second, 1 second, 2 seconds, you wait for about a minute. The baton never returns. He's like, it's been dealt with. Now,
Thank you.
all right. And he walks out of the door. You see like a small gnome in front of you. It's like its color is like matching the area. It's in a darker and grayer tone. You surprisingly find someone who looks really similar to one you saw before. To Vor.
Yeah.
The deep gnome you guys saw before. And
You look
he's
familiar.
Like,
Any relation to Vor?
huh?
I already hate him. He's a gnome.
Yeah, he's
That's
a
just
deep gnome,
side.
actually. He's like,
All gnomes. Or sorry, no dwarves is what I hate. Never mind. I don't mind this guy.
alright. He's like, why? Okay. Let me do this first. And he stomp his, sort of like a staff, but it's smaller, way smaller. That's suitable for his size, and he stomp it on the ground, and you could swear you see a flash of light, and then nothing. He's like, all right, so he casts Zone of Truth, and he's like, who are you, and why would you know my brother's name?
Tully. Had a few run-ins with him. My mate's got a debt to settle.
Fair enough.
With Zone of Truth put up, the first thing that comes to mind, holy shit, you're short.
Yeah, so you, Viking, you walk in just in time to see Tali, hands up in midair with weapons around her feet, and yeah, a deep gnome across the hall who looks exactly like similar to the one you hate, the deep gnome you hate. Or, yeah.
No, it's dwarves I hate,
All right.
not gnomes.
Okay.
I'm like, I still sword and shield. I'm like, Tully, Blaine.
I don't think he's going to hurt us, but I mean, I've been wrong before.
No. Why would I want to hurt you? Well, yeah, Wait, what kind of business do you want to settle with Vor?
The badger comes rushing in the back door and fucking attacks Tully. Just like, sorry.
No, the badger. The badger actually runs in. The badger actually runs in and perched itself on the gnome's shoulder, just like Cora's doing on your shoulder, on your head. Yeah, they're like, sure, it's fine, Kenny, it's fine. Well, continue. What's your unfinished business with my brother?
Well, you see, he set up a scenario a little while back now that marked my friend here as something, and I've recently had visions of it, and I want to find out what that means.
Okay. How about your friend there with armors, weapons, and everything?
I had a lot more, but somebody stole it, and we tracked him to this building.
Oh, snap. Alright. That's... Oh, by the way, to clarify everything, and I'm also in the zone of truth, so it's not me. And there's no light coming out of him, so he's not lying. He's like, but I know
who stole the thing?
But I know who. Come out, boy. And he yelled in the back. You notice that a small human boy actually crawling out from the second door on the left side. And he's like, yes, master? Did you steal from this fine gentleman? And he points at you, Viking. It's like, the boy's like, yeah, but he's threatening Benson. I was like, trying to rough him up.
It was a good instinct, dear heart.
If I remember correctly,
pick targets that won't fight back.
You stole from me before I had to threaten him because I had no money. Because you stole all my money.
Yeah. The boy is trying to argue with you by saying, but you threatened him. He's my friend. And he starts
And that is why you don't pick him as a mark.
Yeah. The boy starts glowing.
So, like, I'm
red.
still in Zone of Truth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you hear those horns? All of those lovely guardsmen that were riled up? That was because I got angry. And nobody steals from me without me getting very angry. And like,
don't worry,
everything I'm saying is truthful, right?
Yeah, so you're not glowing. But the boy, as he tries to defend himself, trying to make up his defense and everything, he's actually glowing red. So his mask is like, what have I done to deserve this? Give the fine gentleman what he belongs. Alright? Give the fine gentleman what belongs to him. Sorry. Belongs to him. I'm so pissed I can't really speak right now. But I will teach you a lesson today, boy. First, don't lie to me. And second, don't steal from anyone. Or I'll send you to the guards myself. Just give it back and everything's fine. The boy's like, but master... The deep gnome's like, do it. I won't say it again. boy's like, fine. And he pulls into his back pockets and grabs out all the money and the bag of holding is like, here. And he kicks it towards you.
I look to him and I say, "Is there anything missing?" Knowing he's in the zone of truth.
Mm-hmm. He looks around, just trying to pretend innocent. His mask like, really? Do I have to? And the boy's like, fine. And he scrub his back, and a few more gold pieces drops on the floor. And then he like empty his like sleeves. You see more like items falling out. So basically, like all the items covered in his body, he's like just shaking them loose, and everything on the floor. You can see your scrolls and your like potions, and everything just falls onto the floor. Like, fine. He finally like do a shrug, and like shrugs out 2 final gold pieces. Like, fine. Here you go. Happy?
And I ask him once more, it's like, anything else?
He raised his hand like, nope. And as he raised his hand, one of the gold coins just drops from his like pouch. Yeah, it's like, I missed that. That's an honest mistake.
Say the words. Is there anything else?
Nothing else, I swear. And there's no color glowing on him. So, yeah, he's definitely telling the truth.
So I scoop it up into the bag.
Yeah. The gnome approaches you and returns all your weapons totally to you.
Thank you.
Including the baton. And he says, I'm deeply sorry for what happened. I will teach the boy, some manners once I have the time. But, alright, nice to meet you all.
So they don't know my patron or anything, and I'm a pally, and I'm like, the law dictates that if I remember correctly, thieves have a hand removed when they get caught. Now I'm just trying to intimidate or scare the boy.
Yeah.
So you better be careful next time, because whether the guards catch you or the wrong person catches you, you might not be walking away with all your appendages.
The gnome like scooped the boy, just dragged the boy over towards you and says, I'm deeply sorry, sir. This is all on me. I'll make sure the boy never cause any trouble again. Someone just dumped in on me a few days ago. I really didn't have the time, so I'm deeply sorry for your trouble. And here, he passed out like 100 gold pieces towards you and says, here's for your trouble. I'm truly sorry for what happened.
No. Keep your money. I have bigger issues than money at this point. Like,
all right.
I'm now, because of this little turd, I'm wanted by the guards.
That will be easy problem to solve. Governor Evergreen and I were good friends. He's mayor now, but Mayor Evergreen are good friend with me. So I can put in a few words telling them to stand down. I guess everything will be resolved. What are you in charge for threatening, intimidation, or anything? That could easily go away. It's fine.
It was a misunderstanding between me and your, was it Benson, the fishmonger?
Oh, yeah, Benson. I know. He's a great
since
guy.
I had no money, and I look at the kid.
The kid is like, giving you this look. Like,
he was very upset that he prepared his goods for me. And I had to forcefully persuade him not to go to the guards because of the little bit of extra work he had to put in.
Yeah.
I fully intend on going back and paying him for his goods and services.
On behalf of Ash, and the gnome points at the boy. It's like, I'm deeply sorry for the trouble. I will make sure the mayor and the guards know what happened. And with my name, I will definitely make sure of that. With my family name, I'll definitely make sure of that. By the way, we never properly introduced. What's your name, kind sir?
I hold out my hand to him, not the boy, because he'll probably rob me blind again.
Mm-hmm.
And say I'm a Vakeen.
All right. Vakeen. Ash, and the gnome just looks at the boy and slap him on the head, like, where are your manners? When someone greets you with an open hand, what would you do? And Ash just reluctantly shook your hand and says, fine, name's Ash. Yeah. And the gnome actually turns towards you and says, name's Vindiki. I'm truly sorry for what happened, and I will make sure, like I said, I'll make sure the boy knows his lesson. You know my brother? May I ask how long ago you've seen him? Because I've been trying to look for him. He's nowhere to be seen.
Well, that sucks, because we were looking for him too.
Can you tell me where you last saw him? I know it's a lot to ask, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just something I need to know.
Last I remember was roughly Fandolin when we had Bree, is that right?
Oh, Bree. Okay. Kind girl. A nice one. Yeah, so that would put it be how long ago?
We were trapped in the Underdark for a while, and Feywild time there.
Okay.
I would have no idea.
Okay.
It could have been years, it could have been mere moments.
I believe, well, last I heard from him about coming to Faroon, it's about 2 months ago, and that's definitely not years. If you met him in Faroon, you definitely met him on this.
Definitely met him
world,
in Fandolin.
right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That would approximately, and he's trying to estimate the time. He says, that will probably be about 1.5 months ago, probably. So yeah. Thanks for letting me know. I wouldn't trouble you any longer. I would just grab the boy and go before he causes any major problems in town. It's like, Ashley's like, fine.
Take care of yourselves.
One more question for you, kind sir.
Okay. Sure, shoot.
This place, what is it? I sense tainted ground here. Like we're surrounded by undead.
Tainted?
You say that, I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Tainted?
Oh yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, this is just an abandoned house. I was teleporting into this place, and this is a temporary resident for just temporal house for me to reside in, and to find the boy before he causes any more problems. Like I said, someone just dumped him on me for a few days ago, so I'm still figuring out my next move. I'm a little sensitive to the light outside. I'm not really used to so bright. And he points at the light outside. He's like, so I usually prefer to stay indoors and not go anywhere. But what about the tainted part? I don't feel anything wrong for the past few days.
No, my divine abilities have have me sensing the uneasy,
Hmm.
the uneasement of undead nearby,
Interesting.
and it's quite apparent.
Interesting.
And I'm like, there was also two little ones running out the back door.
Oh,
I'm guessing they.
sorry about that. Those are my illusions. So, we thought you were, someone chasing us. We thought you're them. We
So,
really thought you're them. So,
Who's them?
um,
Should there be someone I'm worried about?
that will be. I'm sorry to put it this way, but none of your business.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna do divine sense again. I think I can do it 3 times because I have a
Okay.
+3 to my
As
charisma
you
modifier.
tried your second divine sense, you heard
Yep.
something break out of the ground, like cracking out from the ground. You look outside just in time to see a white skeleton hand crawling out
Oop.
from the ground. It's like, just like, and starts to pull
I'm like-
itself up.
That thing, just like pointing. I'm like, that's what I'm sensing, but a whole lot more.
I'm no necromancer, but this shouldn't be here. Huh. Interesting. Well, I'll leave you guys to it, I guess. I'm not much of a help, like, with the boy with me. Like, the one dump him on me, it's a duty. So, I will come back. I'll come back if the boy is safe, or if any one of you can deliver him to safety. I'll be happy to help. But my priority will be the boy.
No, keep him safe. You're responsible for him now.
All right. And he retreated back into the shadows, and with a zap, he disappeared with the boy.
Just put him in my bag of holding as he leaves.
All right. There, as you guys are speaking, more and more skeletons are crawling out from the ground. To
Can
your
I
surprise, they don't attack you. They're just standing there. They definitely notice you because their heads are turning towards you. But they just stand there.
Do I know anything about this? Like, the guards have now said Merkel, and a few, hintings of it.
Mhm.
Is this what I think is the doings of Merkel?
Yeah, definitely. You don't even need any checks. You think that's maybe you have seen this before. In fact, with your
This is like a
past-
battle tactic for them.
Yeah, with your
Right.
past tactics, past experience, you've witnessed this tactic firsthand. First, Merkel's worshipper infiltrate towns to set up, like desecrated grounds and tainted rituals and all that kind of stuff to rise the undead. You are pretty sure that Silvana also talked, and her group also told you guys about something of an uprising near the Seeker's Sanctum.
Yep.
Yeah, but this one, it looks different. Different how? Usually the undead are mindless attackers, mindless drones. They will attack anything living on sight. Whether or not they like it, or not. But the skeletons definitely spotted you guys, and they're just not doing anything. In fact, some of them even perform similar behavior to living human beings as they scratch their heads and trying to look around. It's not very undead behavior.
Based on my experiences, are they looking for command?
In fact, no, because usually the ritual, before they were performed and prepared, Merkel's worshippers will make sure that all the rituals are in place so they won't attack. They will follow their command to attack whatever targets they want. But this time, it's
So
not doing that. The
I
undead
look
just
to
looks around and
how many of them are there?
right now 3, and that's about it. Just 3 breaks out, and one of them even sits, lean against the wall, just sit on the ground, legs folded, as if it's meditating.
I'm like, Tully, this is probably a bad idea, but
There's an inherent wrongness with that thing. I don't like it.
yeah. So I'm gonna go out and I'll be like, hey guys, just be
Uh,
like nonchalant, even though they probably won't respond.
They
God.
kind of looks at you and they are startled, and they kind of like lean against the wall, just like hands up against the wall, just like a regular person when they're mugged. So like hands up on against the wall, just like stop moving.
No, it's not like that. I'm like, put your hands down, and I'm looking whether or not they understand me.
They put their hands down.
Um,
And one of them starts just doing the trying to mouth open and close, trying to. It looks like he's trying to talk, but you don't hear anything. There are skeletons after all.
Yeah, you're missing a few things there for fluent communications. And I'm like,
As you said that, your like body starts to feel this when you think that, oh shit, we can talk to them, and communication issues, your throat starts to get itchy and itchier, and then ears starts to get itchy until eventually the weird feeling goes off and the undead, the first skeleton starts saying, you think you heard something like, kind sir, can we leave now?
I look to him and I say no.
For Tully, you notice that Viking is like talking to the skeleton who's not responding for some reason.
Okay. I'm like taking a few steps back, but I'm ready to fight because I'm just like, this is so bad. Why did I not stay at home?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why?
All right. So for both of you, you see one of the skeleton moves a little bit forward and doing this gesture of like, and for Viking, you heard the guy saying, kind sir, may you help us in our dilemma. I mean, we're on a debate about whether we're actually alive or dead, and yeah, you seem like you're the best judge of it. After all, you're like one of its vessel, right? Am I right? And he tried to elbow you like, am I right?
I when he called me sir, this is when I'm like, I get very, dark and gloomy shit.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you will address me as your lord. I don't know, I'm just making up something that seems okay.
Roll intimidation with advantage because of your heritage.
17.
Nice. You think you definitely intimidate the skeleton because he retreated and says, all right, Lord who?
No, I'm like, I am your lord, Vakeen,
Oh,
servant
Lord Vakeen. Okay.
of the true Dark One. Like, very, boding.
Yeah. I thought Miracle doesn't do it. Well, I thought Miracle wasn't as powerful as he used to, but hey, what am I to judge? I'm a skeleton. So, Lord Vicky, and he do it like a weird, like, a really boasting gesture, like trying to add the flair into his movement. And for Tully, you see him do this and bow in front of Viking. As the other
These are
guys
the
still
weirdest
meditating.
ended.
Yeah, the other guys do like.
I look back at Tully and I'm like,
Okay. Okay.
Right.
I'm like, why have you come here prematurely?
Prematurely? What are you talking about? Lord Viking, don't
Can't
mind
you
that.
tell your brethren are poised to attack? Look at you fools.
The guy who asked you a question is the second skeleton, who sounds more femaly in voice, and the first guy the first skeleton just knocked her ribs out of the way. It's like, pardon me, Lord Viking, but what exactly are you talking about? We were already awakened for quite some time. If you're referring to the large amount of, well, troops or whatever that is underneath, though we're not one of them.
Then why are you here?
Like I said, debating for life and death issues. It's quite something, don't you think?
The dead don't awaken themselves. Only
Yeah, well, we're not. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You see, my friends and I, though we don't remember our names anymore, you can just call me H. Well, she's A, and yeah. Well, names aside, since it's been so long, we were down here for past few hundred years. Long before your so-called cultist. Oh, sorry, my bad. You're not cultists. You're the true believers of the Dark One. But anyway, before they came, we're already down here. We think we're cursed? Well, that's what we thought, right? Hey? And the female just nodded. Yeah, doesn't say a word, but no, she nods. And H starts to continue saying, well, we woke up and we found our sarcophagus with like encryptions of words. That's why, hence the code name. And that's where we start to debate, because we have no other options. We can't do much, so we just start talking. And since we doesn't remember much, the only thing we can do is talk about whether or not we're still alive. So, what do you think? Are we alive or dead?
My divine sense would have told me they're undead. So you walk the thin veil between life and death.
That will be not good enough. You see, that's what the nameless one, the guy who's meditating, tried to say for the past few centuries until he couldn't take our debate anymore and starts to meditate. So, we kind of like a straightforward answer, so yeah.
Do you, since you have no flesh, don't bleed, no organs,
Yeah,
then you're dead.
There are a lot of creatures, if I could argue, there are a lot of creatures that have no flesh, no organs, but they're still alive. So?
I look over at Tully. I'm like, I'm in a fucking philosophical debate with a skeleton.
Undead don't have personalities. They don't have. What?
And Tully, as you said that, you notice that the skeleton that did the fancy flare of bow, he walks right towards you and does a bow and pick up your hand and kiss your hand on the back.
It's very weird because
Yeah.
he has no lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you feel the bones
It's very
touch your
like
skin.
yes.
Okay.
They don't seem to be aggressive. They're just
No kidding.
I'm not gonna offend them or anything, but they're wondering whether or not they're alive or dead, and they're arguing that when I told them they're dead. So
Whereas I would say they're
yeah.
alive. They have
Yeah.
personality. They're making their own choices, which is, frankly, terrifying.
Viking, for when you said when you said about they're debating and stuff, the female one leans towards you, like, right? That's what I was talking about. If we're like in this state, we are apparently humanoid, and most of the humanoids have flesh, have organs, and they can talk freely. So that make us dead, right? That's
you
what
guys breathe.
that's what I've been keep telling to H, and he's not agreeing with me. Yeah, like it's
And I'm
super
like,
frustrating. We've been
I
doing
point
this
to
for
that one. I'm
centuries.
like, he's named H. This lovely lady here is A. Was her name?
Yeah, it's A.
And then
Capital A.
I don't remember what the other one was called.
The nameless one. They call them the
nameless one. We'll
Yeah.
call him Jeb. And
Okay. H-A and nameless. Got it?
H
Got it?
as
Why do I have it?
as Tolly said, there's no characteristic. They're terrifying. Viking, you heard H said, could you please tell this kind lady I not only have a lot of charismatic and charm and characteristic, I'm also a really good company if she's ever in need. Would you address that for her? For me, to her.
I look over to Tully. He wants me to translate that he is cursed and horny. Basically.
And
Awesome.
you see H
Just
just
summarizing
waves
it.
his hand like no in front of Viking.
Yeah.
And like
No. I'm basically just like, yup. Rear back, and it's a push kick just to the chest, just to shove him back a few feet.
okay, he just you accidentally shove one of his ribs to the ground as you try to push him backwards. But he does stagger back. He's like, Viking, you heard him say,
No.
my ribs. Tell the lady if she really loved me that much, she can have my ribs. It's fine.
The answer is always just
I
I
look
don't need
to
to get
like,
all this handsy.
I've been with her now for a little while, and I don't think you're the right gender for her.
What are you talking
Just totally
about?
playing it off
I'm a
as, like-
charming. Well, I don't know what
I'm just looking at you like, thank you.
He waved his like ribs in the midair, like I'm a charming. Well, I don't know what I am, but I'm charming. Come on, you guys don't appreciate good things.
She plays for the other team. She likes the company of her own kind. Just like the most horrible euphemisms.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I think you were elves when you were alive, right? A's like, I'm not doing it. I'm definitely not doing it. We're here to end our debate once and for all. Not here because you can court some girls. Which, by
So
the way,
where
you
is
don't
your
have
cursed
the
tomb?
necessity.
I'm
to
like
court
trying
a
to
girl.
gear them back onto track. Like, maybe we can help you uncurse your tomb, kind of thing. If
Yes, please.
you
That's
let us
what
know where it is.
That's what we've been doing. I mean, we got this gut feeling, though I don't have any guts, that we need to finish our debate in order us to go into our nice, quiet afterlife, if you would say so. So, if you would like to, if you would help me, that would be awesome. Plus, I really hate the peasants when they see us and try to clobber us into, well, pile of bones. They certainly
Do you
have
guys
a bone
breathe?
to pick with us. He's
Do you
started
breathe?
saying bad puns right now.
Yeah.
Just like,
Do you require breathing in order to live?
well, not necessarily. But there are a lot of creatures that doesn't require breathing to survive.
No, all creatures require, they either breathe
No,
water
the
or
air
air.
elemental doesn't require breathing, and they are still alive.
Elemental is a different beast altogether.
Still, they are creatures. So in general,
No, they're
in
elemental.
general,
They're defined as a different. They're not considered a creature. They're considered elementals.
well, they're still
They're
creatures.
born from flame or air or water.
Well,
not
I've seen
from-
someone created them, but that's beyond the case. So anyway, they are still creatures in general, and plus there are a lot of creatures that doesn't require breathing. Pit fiends, you never seen them require breathing, right?
I'm just wondering, what the hell did this guy do in his real life that
Yeah.
he knows about elementals and pit fiends?
So roll me a history check to see if you can remember anything from your. Nope.
6.
You have
Hearing-
absolutely no idea. You are fairly certain if anything this weird ever happened, you would know. So, yeah, you don't know anything. Well,
If-
as you guys. Okay, go ahead.
The sign of you being undead is, or the easiest way for me to tell if you're undead is whether you recoil at the not sight, but touch of radiant magic.
Oh, sure thing. Do your stuff. You think we never tried that before? Please. And he flips. He tried to snap his fingers. There's only bone clattering sound with his snapping. But the one that was always meditating, Jeff, he kind of points at H, and you see like sacred flames coming from the sky and burned on his bones. Nothing happens. It just burns on the bones.
Okay, I've given up on. I don't know what the hell you guys are.
Come on,
Good luck.
You're the first, living creatures, for centuries we've seen, besides us. H is like, yeah. It's like, please, you got to help us resolve this problem to put us into long rest once and for all.
The only way to get you your eternal slumber is to remove the curse from your tomb. So where is it?
And that's through debate. Well,
No,
if you
it's
really,
a physical object.
Well, fine. You'll see it. You'll understand it when you see it. It's underneath the ground. Hey, H, do you remember there's a canal that could lead to the underground? To where our tombs are? H is like, let me think. It gets a little fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure somewhere east, outside of town, there are a small canal that could lead to our, our place. So if you really
As they're
wish to help
talking
us-
Amongst themselves, I looked at Tully. I'm like, should maybe get Ravani, but I don't know if this might cause her to have more nightmares. You got to deal with it.
I'm
You guys-
already. That one caught fire. Are there others like them? Are we gonna? Is the Seeker's Sanctum gonna be full of burning undead?
I look over to the skeleton. I'm like, any more, you guys?
Well, we're pretty sure we're unique, in a way. As you are talking to H is actually trying to put out the fire on the bones by slapping each of the bone onto the ground, just stab it into the ground and just rub it with the dirt and pulls it out. Like,
Meanwhile,
saying it
there's
with
like
disgusting
30 guards behind the
Yeah.
fence, just like watching, like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
We're
there's
just
no,
not
there's actually no one behind you guys. It's like I said, this part is deserted. It's an abandoned cottage, so no one actually comes to this area. You assume that's why Vindiki picked this place for his hideout. So it's like H is like still shaking the bones and everything is like, oh great, more dirts. Like I haven't had enough. Anyway, you could tell this lady, no need to fear, we're one of a kind, and well, if she ever wants a date, I'm always here. I'm always here.
We have another companion or two that can help,
Ooh,
but
okay.
if you don't keep it in your, and I'm cut out at, I was gonna say pants. I'm like, if you don't keep your promiscuousness in check, then we're just gonna leave you here for another couple hundred years.
Well, I guess if that's the case, I'll just wander off myself. I mean, no, there'll be some troubles, but fine. Just lead the way. And do you have anything to cover us?
You said you don't have to breathe?
Yeah, why would I?
I'm like, here you go. And I open the bag of holding. I'm like, hop in.
Lousy design of bags. Well, sadly, I can't go in there. Well, I literally can't. You think we haven't tried that before? So naive. What are adventures these days?
I'm like, you wouldn't be the first body that I put in here.
Yeah, he tried to put his bones, like bony hands, into the bag of holding. It just blocks. It wouldn't go in as if there's a invisible block that blocks the path. He's like, see, like I said, we're one of a kind. We're not your ordinary bones, and thus.
So you need clothes, is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
So.
Though I would prefer no clothes at all. I mean.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you there. But
See?
people frown upon that.
We are friends. I mean, like, why do people need clothing? I mean, people should just get free. We're born without clothing. It's unlike if God designs us to be born with clothes, we would have clothes when we're born, right? Am I right?
Yep. So I'm gonna give the female the magical set of clothing that I have that turns into like I have it here as magical clothing. Magic clothing of Buzz Killington is what I have it on my character sheet.
All right, so you hand her over. She's like,
like that's all I got.
A suit of formality. Thank you, kind sir. I would recognize this design from anywhere. This is my design.
I'm curious what it does on a skeleton, but
it's been so long since I saw my own creation. But thank you, good sir. It's always good to have proper dressing and everything. Unlike
I'm not
my
a huge fan of that.
friends here, I do appreciate some clothing. And she puts on Tolly. You see the other skeleton starting to put on a suit of clothes, and it turns into a fine dress like like the one you will wear to a gala or a banquet. That kind of fine dress. And she puts on like all that even comes with a top, like a huge hat, like the ladies would usually wear, and their veils covering her faces, and like, this feels more like it.
I look back at Tully and I'm like,
I'm just like, I knew they were courtiers of some kind. They're so fancy. Why?
This will be the most fancy suit you have ever seen in your life.
I look to her and I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of fancy get-ups, and I don't like the fact that it's really hard to take it off. So I tend not to wear it.
If you follow the proper rules, I mean, that would easily come off. As she wore her dress, A starts to describe in depth of how the suit functions and why it would work on certain people and why it wouldn't, because they're rude, because people are treating their outlooks very not carefully. So she describes it as, this will help you to achieve the finest, status as you greet people and accordingly. In the social occasions, this is always the best options.
Is there any way to control it? And I look to her, I'm like, because it's not always about being your finest.
What?
Sometimes it's easier.
This is not subtle. We cannot get through the city
It's
with
always about fabulous.
No.
Why would
You know,
anyone
sometimes
live without fabulous? You know how much it kills me
look
for the
like a
centuries?
guard right now, like in full guard attire,
Mhm.
you would be much more free to go about your business. Sometimes the most obscure waiter gets in more places than a nobleman, unnoticed.
Why would
And
anyone want to stealth in? That is, beneath.
It's not
us.
stealth; it's obscurity through commonality.
people
You
don't
know.
Why
notice
would
you
anyone
when you're
want
beneath them.
commonality when they can be fancy? I mean, fancy
Nobody-
for life.
Nobody
That's
looks
our
twice
motto.
at a tree in a forest, but they do look twice at a, and I'm like this in a
That's
forest.
exactly
point to
the
her.
point. That's exactly the point. Why would you think I built this kind of stuff? To make you outstanding. To make you look good. To make people want to look at you. You know what kills me for the past centuries? Not being able to wear a fine dress. That's what kills me.
I look over to H and I'm like, she's fucking crazy.
Yep. That's what I've been saying. She's fucking
You're
crazy.
horny, she's crazy, and he's a mute.
Whoa.
And I just say it outright. I'm like,
Yeah.
very bad.
I never heard him speak, so probably. But he understands.
he's the smart one of the
That's point.
group.
Yep. That's why we never
Okay.
reach a verdict, because he never say a fucking word. We would have resolved this for so long ago if he could just say he agrees with me or her. But no, he wouldn't speak. Fine with me, I guess. But anyway, let's go, shall we? And he starts walking towards the street with no clothing at all, just cheerfully strolling onto the street.
I'm like,
He's going to get shot by the guard immediately.
And
Yeah.
it's like, let him. It's not like we could be killed twice.
I go over to the mute guy. I'm like, I completely understand your reluctancy to talk. And if I were in your situation and had a tongue, I would have ripped it out, because it's not like you would have got a word in edgewise anyways. So
He nods.
I feel for you.
He nods deeply as you say
I'm
that.
like, you're my favorite.
He nods again. Charlie, you're seeing all this nonsense while the first guy, H, is quite literally walking on the street right now.
Doing my best to keep track of just Vakeen's side of the conversation has been hilarious because it's so strange. I'm just gonna hood up and I'm just gonna walk out and be like, this is gonna be great. I'm just going home. I'm going home for a drink. This is it. We're done.
Yeah. So H is like naturally try to wrap his hand around your shoulder as if you guys are.
Oh, he's gonna shot. That's an elbow to the face.
Okay, you elbowed his face as his skeleton head flies in midair.
If there's a skeleton hand on my arm, my instinct is what?
Yeah, so you elbowed his face. His skeleton head just rolls in the floor as you backhand it into the ground. Yeah, he's like, I'll be fine. I'll live like I'd always do. And you see, like, his body just awkwardly trying to search where his head is in the opposite direction, as his head is like, over here, you dumbass.
I pick up the head, I reset it, and I like disengage. I like backflip the fuck away. Just
Okay.
fix.
All right.
Why don't you guys stay here? Holly, why don't you go and get Ravani?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we'll meet back here rather than you trompsing through town center.
Okay. It's about
And-
4 in the afternoon right now. It's been a long time since you guys discuss and talk about all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So Tolly, are you going back towards the tavern?
Double time.
So as you return to tavern, meanwhile, Rivani, you were having a good time thinking about what happened to your friends and what was that loud noise. Maybe it's nothing. You're just having a good time of your life without any carings. Plus, you finish your masterpiece, so it's awesome for you. You're just having a general good time.
I basically been sort of spending my meal, sort of coming up with the name to sort of give to give to this little guy. And,
All right.
When I sort of look at the yellow lights where its eyes would be, I sort of decide to start calling them bright eyes.
Okay. Before we do anything, can you reset your mic? I'm hearing a lot of like buzz on and off, so maybe reset the connection because I couldn't hear.
I'm gonna mute myself and go to the washroom real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. I really couldn't hear what you're trying to say here, so sorry about that.
Are you still hearing? Or?
Yeah, I'm still hearing the.
It'd be the hangout connection.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe drop out and into that because I think that worked last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably drop out and then come back. I think that'll help. Sorry about that. Because I really can't understand what you're trying to say. That is bad.
Hello?
Oh, that's better. That's much better. All right. So what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was saying that. Well, how much did you hear of what I was saying before? Actually.
I only heard you're having a good time, and that's about it.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Yeah. So I was basically sort of spending my meal, sort of trying to come up with a name to give this to give my my creation, and when I sort of look at its at the yellow lights that it has for eyes, I sort of decided to give it the name Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes. Okay. All right. So it's properly named. I'm pretty sure you have the handout, right? So you can.
I have the one for the figurine. Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely rename it as you see fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the. Yeah, you definitely have that. All right. So let's name Bright Eyed. Nice. And I'm assuming you're just enjoying the meal. That's all.
Pretty much.
Okay. So yeah, Kaz actually joins you as he just finished his routine work of maintaining the bar, and he's like, nothing is better than a sip of wine in the mid-afternoon. Well, coffee could be, but I don't need a pick-me-up. I need something to smooth my mind. And you know, bartending life does change one person. I I was traveling with a bunch of adventurers, and never really thought I would settle in. This time, though this is a mission of sort, it kind of changed my mind of tending a bar. Maybe I would choose to settle in this town. It looks great. Anyway, I'm sure everything's fine with your friends. I mean, it's not like they could get into any kind of troubles, right? Are they? Plus, it's always good. We have companies and everything, and I don't know. I'm just consider an old man just blabbing about his words. It's fine. I'm just small talk, trying to relax. So, what about you? What do you think? Have you ever considered settling down or doing anything else in your life?
Well, I guess right now the adventuring life is what I really striving for right now.
Yeah,
There's
we all got our reasons.
there's there's a lot. There's still a lot of questions about my past that I need to answer,
Well,
and I won't. And I know I won't find them sort of settling down in a library somewhere.
Yeah, take it from an old guy. Some paths are better left unknown. Just speaking from experience. But you're young. You got still a lot of time to figure that out yourself. Just if you ever run into trouble, think of this. And he goes back to like doing his stuff. You are kind of still drinking and eating until you enjoy the meal nice and slow until finally about a few hours passes. You realize that Tolly just ran into the tavern, like painting, like that kind of, like as she's running, like with all her might and everything. So yeah.
Kaz, shots. What is the strongest thing you have?
He looks at top of the shelf. He brings down the like colorless, like water-like stuff you were seeing last time. It's like, you sure about this?
Yes, hit me.
All right. He placed it on.
I just realized I said hi, Ravini, like a dummy. I meant to say hi to
You are still having your nice time, so it's like you're highing yourself. So, yeah. And he turns towards you, Ravini. Is like, are you paying? Or that's 10 gold pieces,
yes.
1 shot. Right. So you all right? You
I'll quickly put the 10 gold in his hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
He take the 10 gold pieces and like, Tolly, the moment
The steak was lovely, by the way.
Yeah. The moment you drank the shot, it's like you got hammered by
Beautiful.
multiple targets that using Warhammer that bashes your head like something you have never tasted in your life. Raveni, you see the moment Holly drank that, her face turned crimson, and her nose starts bleeding. And she immediately passed it out onto the floor.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me.
This is called a hammer for a reason. And it's like, yeah.
I think that was a little too strong.
Yeah. No. Like.
Well,
the
the
like,
finest brew from the cloud giants. It's not something you would take lightly. And he like
Wait,
yeah. What?
it's a cloud. It's a cloud giant brew for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. It's meant for their bouquet, and I know a guy who knows a guy and how to import this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Whoa.
Pure cloud giant brew. Allegedly they grow the stuff on their castle, and well, anyway, this one bottle cost me $100. Just this one bottle, 100 gold pieces. So yeah. Well, the hangover will pass for, let me count. She passed out this quickly, probably 5 or 7 days, maybe. Yeah. She'll be fine. It's just the effect that lingers will cause traumatic headaches and everything. So yeah, Tolly, roll me a 2 Constitution save to see
Amazing.
how. Yeah.
How fucked up are you?
Okay.
Very.
So, game wise, you'll be passed out for 5 days.
Okay.
And someone can bring you back with healing spells to regain your consciousness, but you will have disadvantage on attacks and dexterity because you're
Fine by me.
fucking
I'm just gonna
evil.
say that I like basically came in just like fucking Vikine, fucking skeletons. I've had it up to here with the undead, so that Ravani actually knows what the hell happened, and I'm sure 9 remembers where we were going. So like they're just there.
9 is upstairs, so he's not with Rivani at the moment. But Rivani, you do hear what Tali is rambling about. Actually, roll me a perception check.
I just want to say, you do realize you just passed out, and there's a handsy skeleton that's been hitting on you all night.
Yeah, that made a bad choice.
So I'm making the perception.
Yeah, make the perception check.
Okay. Can do.
All right, you definitely heard every word she's talking about. She's not yelling, but she's also not making. She's talking so fast, you're having a hard time to list out all the things she said. But you do hear she rambling about Viking, and she talked about how fucked up the undeads are, skeletons and all. So yeah, you assume something happened.
But Viking skeletons. Wait, slow down. What's going on?
And all you get from her is a loud snoozing sound, like. Yep. She's hammered. Kaz on this side says, well, you can go check on your friends. I'll take care of her. Well, or our friends upstairs can take care of her. 9, would you please be kind and help me out with your friends? 9 just comes strolling downstairs and like, okay, what happened? Oh, great. You gave her the shot? And Kaz is like, yep. And it only took 1 sip. 9's like, even I couldn't take that kind of shot. Well, off you go. She puts you, Tolly, on the back of her shoulder, on his shoulder, and starts walking upstairs. Yeah. Kaz is like, okay, I'll better put this back. He just put the drink back onto the shelf. What are you waiting for? Don't your friends need you? He turned to you, Rivani. Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of just like face palming, like, oh boy, I got into trouble again, didn't he?
Are you sure we didn't stay at a poison vendor rather than a tavern?
Yeah. I'll go find him wherever he is.
Yeah.
And,
that's gonna be some findings to do. Well, I last heard they're trying to catch some thieves. Or is that the case? They're yelling from afar, so I can't really make it out. Well, but I would suggest you go to somewhere near there, and he points towards the direction. Like, maybe somewhere there. I mean, at least that's what I saw they're going. And yeah. So, Ruveni, you follow the direction, and that will be.
Will do, Mr. Kess.
Yeah.
And I say, come on, Bright Eyes. We can we can show you around town along the way.
All right. Bright Eyes actually shrinks back into the figurine onto your palm. It's like, but he's still, it's still walking on your palm. It's unlike before. Before it's like a lifeless statue, but now it's like just sitting on your palm, finding a nice spot and just sits on it.
All right.
All right. So you walk out of the door and follow the direction, and that will be the end of today's sessions. Great job, guys.
Oh boy.